pollution, and specifically particulate matter with aerodynamic diameter lower than 10 microns, increases the risk of worse clinical outcomes. Similarly, a higher risk of cardiovascular events has been found during colder temperatures or colder seasons. We know that atrial fibrillation increases the risk of a stroke, but the impact of air pollution and temperature in AF patients is unclear. My name is Dr. Rivera Caravaca, postdoctoral research fellow at the Department of Cardiology of the University Hospital Virgen de la Risaca, and I'm here to present the article Particulate Matter and Temperature, Increased Risk of Adverse Clinical Outcomes in Patients with Atrial Fibrillation, that will appear in Mayo Clinic proceedings. In this study, we have investigated if PM10 and temperature were associated with an increased risk of adverse clinical outcomes in a real-world cohort of 1,361 AF patients taking vitamin K antagonists. In summary, cost regression analysis demonstrate that high PM10 levels and low temperatures were associated with higher risk of major bleeding and all-cause mortality, even adjusting by CHASPAS or Hasbled scores. In addition, high PM10 levels were associated with higher risk of ischemic stroke, but not temperature, and low temperatures were associated with higher risk of adverse cardiovascular events, but not PM10. Regarding seasons, winter saw the highest incidence of adverse cardiovascular events, major bleeding, and all-cause mortality, and also ischemic stroke. Comparison between seasons demonstrate that the risk of adverse cardiovascular events was increased in spring, autumn, and winter when compared to the summer period. The risk of all-cause mortality was increased only in winter when compared to summer. In our opinion, these observations open a new spectrum of potential parameters that may be considered when assessing AF patients. There is no doubt interventions focusing on the management of modifiable risk factors are needed. However, it is undeniable that the climate change has a direct relationship with our health. For this reason, a more holistic approach to AF management is needed, and attention also in these less common risk factors should be addressed. We recognize that addressing our findings may be a challenge. For example, a change of residence could be even suggested, but probably efforts should be directed towards taking prevention actions and, as I previously said, placing emphasis on modifiable risk factors. Exposure to pollution and temperature could be determined by each individual's capacity to protect by themselves or by families and caregivers. This exposure may have social and economic implications, but an important action is protecting the planet. If we protect the planet, we protect our health, and if each of us strives to reduce air pollution, this will contribute to a large reduction in particulate-related adverse outcomes. Within this topic requires further research. We performed this investigation in a particular region from the southeast of Spain. Therefore, our cohort was exposed to the particular weather and pollution levels of this region. The relationship between PM temperature and health in other geographical regions has not been investigated and probably will be different. Collaborative studies, including cohorts geographically distributed, would be of great interest. Finally, as take-home messages, we could highlight: first, high PM and low temperature may be associated with increased risk of ischemic stroke, major bleeding, cardiovascular events and mortality, and second, the risks and incidences of clinical outcomes in overall are higher during colder months and colder seasons. Thank you.
We hope you found this presentation from the content of our website valuable. Our journal's mission is to promote the best interests of patients by advancing the knowledge and professionalism of the physician community. If you are interested in more information about us, our homepage is www.mayoclinicproceedings.org. There you'll find access to information for our social media content, such as additional videos on our YouTube channel or journal updates on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter. More information about healthcare at Mayo Clinic is available at www.mayoclinic.org. This video content is copyrighted by Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research.